In this video, I'm going to give you 7 ways to save money on your food shop in London. I'm also going to let you know how I get my weekly food shop down to £15 a week. You don't want to miss this. Hello and welcome to The Adult Life, where we give you the tools to be a happy and healthy adult. My name is Simi and I'm the adult in charge. Well, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I've changed my environment around a bit. Welcome to my luxurious kitchen. I don't know about you, but the pandemic is really trying to play with my coins, but I'm not going to let it. So I've spent some time researching and finding out ways to save more and cut back on spending in a lot of areas. So I'm coming to you now with a How to Save Money in London series, which actually applies to any UK city or any city worldwide, to be honest, to talk about it. So over the next few weeks, we're going to find out ways to cut back on spending on your bills, your health, your food, eating out, and so much more. So let's get right into it. Tip 1, have a plan. A meal plan. Now, I can already see you rolling your eyes at me. Meal plans are so long-winded and boring and everything. It really doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to be like those hobby bloggers that have 3 meals a day plus snacks and drinks for the next 7 years. It's not that deep. Trust me, I got you. This is how I make the most of a meal plan. I have some staples that are always there. Things like eggs, milk, sugar, cereal. These are things that you can either have for breakfast or maybe a light supper when you're not really feeling that hungry. I also put things like condiments, tinned tomatoes and frozen veg in this category because I know I use them in a lot of my recipes, so it just makes sense to always have them in the house. Then I choose 3 or 4 meals for the week and I put the ingredients in my shopping list. Usually these meals revolve around 2 types of meat. That way the ingredients are relevant to all recipes and I make sure that there's no wastage. So I might have chicken and beef for 1 week. For the chicken recipes, I might make a roast chicken one day and then the next day make it into a chicken stir fry. For the beef, I might brown mince for lasagna and then use it the next day for a bolognese. I especially like these type of recipes because it means I can cook more and save them for later on in the week. Tip 2, shop from your cupboards first. So you need to make sure you're looking in your cupboards, your fridge and your freezer and you know everything that you have on hand. That way you know that if something's about to go off, you can use it before that time, or if there are things that are already off, you can throw them away. How can I have moved into this house last year and found things that went off 2 years ago? Madness. It also makes sure you don't buy 2 of the same thing, which helps reduce wastage. Shopping from your cupboards also helps with the meal planning process too. If you know there's some things that are just about to go off, you can use those as the basis for your recipes. It also helps for certain cuisines like Indian and Chinese. Another thing I like about shopping from your cupboards is that sometimes you can find substitutes. Take buttermilk for example. When you need it for baking, it can be a bit of an extra expense because you only use a little bit and then end up throwing the rest away. But if I know I have milk and lemon juice in my cupboard, I can use those as a substitute for buttermilk and that means I don't have to buy it specially, saving money. Win-win. Tip 4, research. Now usually I check the prices of products online just to get a feel and make sure I'm getting the best value from the stores that I choose to buy from. What may surprise you is that some stores that are usually known for being cheap might not actually be the cheapest for the products you want to buy. So it's good to be careful about that. You can also use price matches in one store to bring your food shop even further. And sometimes you might want to split the shop between 2 different shops just to make sure you're getting the best value from both. Here's a bit of a hot take for you. I don't care how bougie you think you are. If you're trying to save money, you can't afford to go to M&S and Waitrose. In fact, I'd wager that if you're really trying to save money, you can't even afford to go to Tesco and Sainsbury's. You need to diversify. And that leads really nicely into tip 4. Try out different stores. So for fruit and veg, why not go to your friendly local market store? Now, I don't mean a farmer's market because they can usually be a bit expensive, but you know, your local fruit and veg man selling fruit and veg in bowls for £1 a bowl. You really tend to get a bit more bang for your buck when you go there. So for instance, I get a bowl of peppers from a fruit and veg man for £1 a bowl. In each bowl there are 5 peppers. If I went to Tesco, I'd get 3 peppers. I'd get 3 peppers for £1.35. Can you see the difference in value? It's the same for a lot of other fruit and veg, so to me it's a no-brainer. For meat, a butcher is your best bet. Now I know, it can be a bit jarring seeing animals hanging upside down and pig snouts flapping everywhere. But sometimes I think it's good to remind ourselves that animals don't grow in plastic packaging. The prices may only be slightly lower, but trust me, the quality is so much higher and you know that you're supporting local businesses because the meat doesn't come from far away. If you're lucky, you might be in the vicinity of a few African and Asian stores, which are my favourite. And this leads really nicely into tip 5, buy in bulk. So Asian and African stores usually sell things in bulk, like rice and lentils. Buying in bulk is a lot more cost effective than buying in smaller amounts. You can also find bulk items in places like Costco and your local cash and carries. Buying in bulk is usually better for non-perishable items that will at least last for a few months, things like rice, pasta and beans. If you buy things in bulk and they go bad, you're wasting food, and wasted food is wasted money. So for example, in Sainsbury's you might be able to find a spice jar like this for about 50 pence. But if you go to an Asian store, you'll probably be able to find one like this for £1. Sometimes they even do deals for 2 for £1 or even 3 for £1, bringing the price per kilo even lower. Sometimes people don't buy in bulk because they're worried that the things that they buy might go bad. To that I would say, why not share with someone? Me and my sister buy a bag of onions from the fruit and veg man for about £3 a bag. Splitting that in half, we'll pay £1.50 for half a bag of onions. If that's not a bargain, I don't know what is. So you can do this with onions, rice, beans, lentils, and you can bring your costs down even further. So now you've got your recipes and you've bought your food. What next? Time to cook. Tip 6, learn to cook from scratch. Too many of us can't cook simple, nutritious meals, and it shows. Now I understand it can be daunting, but there's so many YouTube videos and cookbooks out there that you have to at least try. You can make restaurant type meals with simple ingredients and control exactly what goes into it at a fraction of the price. I mean, why buy a £10 pasta dish from Frankie and Benny's when you can make a better one yourself for £2.50 a portion? I get it though. It's not every day you make pizza from scratch. Sometimes convenience trumps cost, and there's some things that are just better bought. But keep in mind that ready meals and sauces have extra sugar, salt and sodium added to it, which is really bad for your health. So why not get a cookbook and get your Gordon Ramsay on? Tip 7, save your leftovers. Now I know it can be quite boring eating the same thing over and over again, but I promise you, if you batch cook and save your leftovers, you'll save so much money in the long run. Also, if you cook multiple portions and save them for later, you're a lot more likely to eat ready cooked food rather than eating out. Cooking in bulk also reduces the cost per portion, saving you even more money. You might need to invest in a few pieces of Tupperware just to keep your food fresh in the fridge or the freezer, but that's just a really small investment. You can buy Tupperware from places like TK Maxx, Asda, all those stores with every household item you could ever imagine that always seem to have those baskets in front. There you go. Those are 7 of my top tips to keep your food shop down. Are you ready for my bonus tip that keeps my food shopping down to £15 a week? My bonus tip is quite straightforward. Mind what you eat. Now I know it sounds really simple, but things don't have to be complicated to be effective. I follow a diet called intermittent fasting, which I'll go into deeply into another video. But basically it means I only eat twice a day between the hours of 12 and 8 p.m. So usually I'd eat my first meal about 12 p.m. and I'd eat my last meal about 6 p.m. But if I'm not hungry at 12, sometimes I'll eat at 2 and then eat my last meal at 8 p.m. It's quite flexible. Because I eat twice a day now, I have a lot less decision fatigue and I'm a lot more mindful about what I put in my mouth. I only eat because I'm hungry now and not because it's 10 a.m. or everybody else is eating or, ooh, is that bacon? I'm a lot less likely to eat junk food or just snack mindlessly, and now I enjoy my sweet treats even more. Luckily, eating less means buying less, and that's what keeps my food shop low. What do you think? Do you use any of these tips? Do you know any better tips? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, see ya! Why am I so happy?